Hey everyone, Wander here, and welcome to Spiral Knights, or welcome back to it if you caught my previous coverage 11 years ago. It's an indie MMO dungeon crawler where you go on randomized missions through randomized levels, fighting bosses, enemies on randomized levels, getting your materials to upgrade your gear and equipment. It's neat. I played it a fair bit prior to starting my channel. Played it a little bit at the start of my channel, you know, for the first 2 days. Invite friends. Don't ask again. I don't think anybody I know has played this in forever. So we're just gonna dive down and see what happens. The reason why I'm playing this is because this game apparently has been getting updates again, fixing the controversial forging leveling system. Previously, if you wanted to level up your equipment, you would have to put resources in, and then it would roll the dice, and maybe you'd level up or not. It would vary. I don't remember. Okay, activate. Oh, so I can just forge here, but we don't care about that because I'm out of resources. Welcome to the battle arena. Only rule is you must fight at least once to move on. Claim victory, you can decide if you want to fight more. Cool. I don't remember how to play. Okay, so I've got like a fireball move. I've got a sword. Oh, I forgot you can't attack and move simultaneously. Yeah, I've got a sword. I've got a gun. I've got a shield. I don't know if I can dodge. My gun seems pretty good. Sword seems decent. But yeah, so they had a really controversial leveling system where you would try and level your stuff up, but there was no guarantee that it would actually succeed. And so it kind of pissed people off for a while. And never really, well, I don't know, spent years kind of in a rough state. Let's see. But apparently they've come back and updated it, you know, within the last couple of months. And player counts are going back up. And so I figured, I don't know, I don't have anything better going on today. It's kind of a lull of a week. Kind of. I think there's some really good games coming up later. There we go. I don't know what half of these do. I think some of them are like temporary buffs. A lot of these are crafting materials. Now, it said I could potentially do another wave, but it doesn't look like that's the case, unless I can go up here and choose to do another. Oh. Okay. So this is... Okay, victory is yours, but these warriors leave this hollowed hall's glorious combat or continue against even more terrifying foes. Well, I haven't felt particularly threatened by anything. So I guess I'm just going to grab the resources here and see what I can do with it. I know we have these, like, crystal shards that you can pick up and carry with you. We're looking for bigger ones, though. Like, it's coming back to me. It's just not coming back quick. I have no idea what I need. So I'll grab this one. Yeah, so that's just going to stay on my back for, you know, until I need it. So what do we have? A freeze vial, a shock barrier. You know what? Actually, in that case, throw the freeze vial that direction. I want to grab this thing. It's a fire barrier. I figure if I'm going to be doing this, I might as well use my consumable items. We'll do another wave or two. I'm probably wildly overpowered for this level. I think this is, I mean, depth 1 is pretty weak, but I'm trying to get my dungeon crawling legs under me. And also trying to get a feel for, like, how challenging is anything. Okay, I mean, seems like there's plenty of healing all over the place. So I'm not too worried in that regard. I'm noticing I'm getting these, like, attack up upgrades, and I can't tell... Ow. Oh, they barely do damage to me. Okay, there is no fear to be had here. Oh, okay. You can see that I've got a attack booster for the next, like, couple of seconds. Oh, and a health capsule. Yeah, so this is slightly roguey, rogue-ish, where you actually are getting small upgrades that stick around with you over the course of the run, mostly increasing your max health. I don't remember if you get anything else. Honestly, I feel like this is one of those games that they could almost make like an overhauled pseudo sequel of sorts that literally keeps most of the assets. Just here, that's a higher tier resource. Pick it up. I think I only get to keep it if I go through the elevator. I don't know which of these is better for me. I don't even remember what resources I need to farm for. Heat, it seems to be kind of the main thing, and I don't entirely know how much I can collect. Let's see. But yeah, so you can increase your maximum health by X number of bars by picking these things up. I need a good gun that has like an AoE. Or I guess really I need to get just a better gun. I think my current gun is like only level 3. Whereas I think my sword is like level 8 or something like that. It's been a while. I think it's also one of those where like I wasn't the most I don't want to say like in tune with what this game was doing back in the day. I think I was just kind of playing for playing's sake, and I wasn't really paying attention to any of its systems or like how to be good. And maybe chalk it up to lack of experience, chalk it up to lack of care, chalk it up to game systems being much less like transparent about things back in the day. But you know, there's always that aspect of just like, what is the what is the optimum way of playing? Oops. Nope, that's a health up. I'm gonna press 6. Actually use the lightning barrier. Actually use some of these abilities that we have sitting around here. Sadly, I don't think these guys take trap damage, but I could be wrong about that. Okay, grab that. Mean that the traps are still active, but is what it is. How many levels of the arena can I do? I have no idea. Well, it looks like it's kicking me out of the arena. Truly, you're among the greatest of all warriors who have ever lived. The bounties of the Arena King are yours for the taking. We get even more loot. I'll have to see if there's higher tier stuff here. So, funny story about this game. I didn't realize this actually until I heard about this getting updates again. One of the like lead artists for this game was a guy by the name of Ian McConville. I have no idea if I'm butchering that one. If I am, I apologize. But prior to working at, I think this is like originally made by the Slime Rancher team and published by Sega, and then it got picked up by somebody else because Sega didn't care to maintain it anymore, and it was like, yeah, sure, let's just hand it over. But so when this game was originally being made, one of the lead artists was Ian McConville. Yeah, so you can see heat is how much experience each of my my weapons gets. Let's see. It can also leave at any point, and that'll get pumped into my gear, and that's how they level up. And so rather than my character leveling up, my gear levels up. It's a pretty simple system. Oh, candles to keep. Is this something I have to carry? Beware the horrible Grimulkins that lurk in the dark. Cursed wraiths cannot be destroyed, and the only thing they fear is the light of enchanting candles. Light them with the embers, and take place in the refuge. Okay. I'm assuming this is an ember. Is that another one? No, that's a switch. Which, I mean, kind of useful. Oh god, there's like big ones too. Okay, gonna actually have to be slightly worried about these things. Grab another ember. Oh, it's not something I carry on my back. Oh. Never mind. It's a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe... Maybe it is. Man, these sound effects are coming back to me. Oh, come on. It's a lot easier if I had a group to play with, but I'm not. Not that I'm too worried about this. It's not like the game is hard. Yeah, so that's if I want to go back. But yeah, the cat noise as it goes down as it dies. Is it dying if it's already a weird ghost? I don't know. Anyway, story in McConville. So prior to working, oh, that's the big shard. Prior to working, oops. Prior to working at the studio on like Slime Rancher and Spiral Knights and stuff, suckers hurt. He made a webcomic called Mac Hall, which I read zealously when I was younger. It was very funny and very much influenced me to potentially get into maybe making like a webcomic, which then pushed me into becoming an illustrator. Which, humorously enough, it's not that I failed at becoming an illustrator so much as that my YouTube channel took off before I could actually, like, really become a professional illustrator. And part of the reason why I started my YouTube channel was because I wanted to cover this game. So I'm in this, like, weird state where this guy, completely, like, without any, you know, obvious intention, has managed to change the trajectory of the course of my life twice. I find that very funny, you know, kind of one of those, like, weird things. You know, just happenstance or life or whatever. But the fact that I managed to go this long without even realizing it also amuses me. We're just gonna go back here. I'm gonna grab as much loot as I can. I have no idea what the money is used for in this game anymore. It seems like heat is the primary currency, but I might have to use money to buy heat stones. I have no idea. Okay, so, right. Those guys explode. These don't come back. What? Ow. Yeah, I've got to be here. I'm assuming now it's just finish them off? Or maybe that one. Watch out for the Bonesley. This gets me a speed up. Unfortunately, I have to wait for this guy to notice that I'm here and then get within the candle range so I can actually kill it. At least, I'm assuming that's how it works. There we go. It's still going. This is actually one of the more substantial levels I've seen. I should probably stop being right next to the bombs when I set them off, but is what it is. Or bombs, the weird bomb drakes. Let's see. Alas, I never actually did end up making a webcomic either. It's kind of one of those, like, bucket listy things where I very much want to go back and do so. But, yeah, that works better. I have a lot of things on my plate, and it's difficult to, like, get through anything. Let's see. We have just more stuff over here. With the giant horror cat ghost. Part of the reason why I do hope they eventually maybe decide to make a sequel or, like, a standalone game is the art style for this game, the, like, character designs and aesthetic were, I don't want to say ahead of their time, it very much was, you know, late 2000s, early 2010s indie MMO look. You know, I'm thinking of Mabinogi and a bunch of other junk. We get 10 money. I don't think that's good, but it's fine. But it has kind of that general vibe. The thing is, they went for like a really stylized hand-painted look. Oh, I can actually just forge here periodically, so if I want to, I could actually level up my armor. Problem is, I don't have a whole lot of warm fire crystals. I don't know where to get more. Well, do we just forge my armor up? I think so. I can spend more for a bonus. But I don't know what the heat bonus is. Okay. But that costs real money, so I'll have to figure out where to get more warm fire crystals from. But yeah, I might as well level up all my stuff so I can slowly work it up. Let's see. What is this? Loadouts. Well, that's not... Wait, is that PvP? Huh. I actually never realized this had PvP. Yeah, I've got a couple of trinkets, but I don't think I can actually equip any of them. Yeah, gotta get a trinket slot if I want to get that. And yeah, I'll have to look at how these work. But yeah, it says buy a trinket slot upgrade to unlock. But the only trinket slot upgrade I've been able to find is like a pay money and you get 30 days worth of trinket. I think that's the one thing I will complain about with this, is that the monetization scheme does feel a little icky. Maybe not as bad as like Genshin or, well, yeah, not as bad as Genshin, but it's like very Warframe adjacent in not the best way. I feel like Warframe's monetization is just a little bit better. Whereas like this one, you can actually like buy gear and equipment and resources. Like you can pay to win. You don't need to. It's like totally free to play and really isn't that big of a deal. And realistically, kind of the fun of the game is the grind, and so skipping ahead just comes off as silly. What's this button do? Ah, brings me a... Okay, toggle map is B. Well, I guess I might as well break all of them in case I find a big one. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of tell the different sizes. You have 1-prong, 2-prong, 3-prong. I guess there's no reason for me to break that one. We've got a big 3-prong. Though I don't actually know what these get me resource-wise. And that's fine. Dang, there's a lot of these guys. Thing is, I mean, I can fight them. Yeah, I guess it does give me heat and experience. It's not like they're actually invulnerable by any measure. Go for that. Oh, I actually have a couple of these. Are these guys still up here? Yeah. Might as well take them all out. That one, well, I was going to say that one's spooky, but only marginally so. There we go. With this, like, lingering spark, I have no clue. Yeah, despite the fact that I've sunk tons of hours into this game, I don't think I ever... like, really learned a whole lot of these things. Plus, I'm assuming an amount of this content is probably new. Was not in the game when I last played in 2015. Alright, I was going to talk about this being potentially turned into a roguelike. And we've already got the, like, small health upgrades and stuff, but it really does feel like you could throw in some mid-run upgrades that would, change how you play just a little bit. You know, like projectile ricochet. Your sword swing is 20% larger. Nothing huge, just enough to like kind of vary your run from one to the next. Should attempt blocking at some point. I haven't bothered, but yeah, I can put this up to get like a temp shield defense bonus. Yeah, unfortunately you can't animation cancel, so you have to be very deliberate with your blocks. And this is something... Huh. It's got a symbol for energy, which I thought was the premium currency. Oh, is it one of those where you have to have, like, the premium pass going on? I don't remember. It still feels like it's one of those games that you could probably strip out a bunch of the more predatory monetization stuff and then throw in, like, I mean, I guess they already have boosters. I was gonna say skins. My character's got, like, a golden skin on that I got somewhere. I think it was, like, a Steam market thing from back in the day. And that's why I'm shiny and look cool. Let's see. If we want to talk about looking cool and whatnot, I believe it's the fur ruff on this. This specific suit of armor that is why my character has that fur ruff kind of hood thing going on. I don't know, it's just kind of fun going back to this and just being like, oh yeah, this really did have like a noticeable effect. Okay, so what can I do here? So, traveling merchant, this just pulls this up. I have crowns, so I can trade this for energy. So I can buy 100 energy for a lot of crowns. Otherwise, I can spend real money on it. But I don't know if that's really necessary. What's this guy sell? Recipes. So, yeah, Vitasuit Plus. Spiral... Oh, demo, as in, like, demolitions. Right, because there's a bomb weapon that's actually quite good. Good chance of causing moderate stun gun. Let's see. Spiral Scale Mail, Frostbreaker Armor. So it gives you some freeze resist. Ember Shield. Resist fire. Or blocks fire. Chance of freeze. I don't know if I care about any of these. So I think I'm just going to live without. And not think about any of it. Health is looking good. So this is depth 4. And yeah, I can quit the expedition whenever I want, but I might as well go kind of as far as I can. I don't actually know if there's a cost for dying anymore. Lichens are strange alien variety of slimes, thought to have arrived to the world via a large meteor. A single cell colony is mostly harmless. They can combine into a most terrible foe. Keep them from merging. Yeah, you can definitely tell I'm not just one-shotting things anymore. But, still doing poor well. Fairly well? Weird. Fairly well and pretty good, but mix them and they sound weird. Well, no. Because fairly good works. It's really just well has restrictions on it. English is strange. Alright, let's see if we get a good crystal. Still don't actually know what crystals get me. Oh, and right, we do get currency off of breaking bushes. Not much, but we do. Okay. I guess the other option I do have is we could actually bail on an expedition and... Oh. Yeah, I should keep them from merging. There we go. Let's see. The one thing I might want to consider is actually bailing on an expedition and seeing if I can figure out how to use my resources more. Because, yeah, it has been a while. Okay, so blocking, yeah, has that kind of temp shield that I'm assuming comes back fairly quickly over time. Who's left? Oh, it's not that who's left. There's a switch here to open the door. That's got to be what it is. Grab one of these. This game heavily reminds me of Phantasy Star Online. I think it's just kind of the overall mission structure, the go into randomized, you know, randomized exploration missions. Get loot come back and do it all over again. I think Phantasy Star Online was definitely a lot more like... Okay, Crimsonite deposit. Okay, so that has nothing to do with the heat stones. I just gotta figure out how to get more heat stones. So without more of those, I can't upgrade anything. That's cool. Oh, they're just gonna keep merging. None of that, you. At least as they merge, they do also stack whatever reward I get from them. So there's no immediate cost to letting them do so. Okay. Man, unfortunately playing games like this immediately send me down like memory lane, where I start thinking about... Yeah, it's also these like kind of weird wolf weasel things that bark as they go down. I'm going down that memory rabbit hole. Things that, you know, I just haven't thought about in ages. But because I was thinking about them when this game was, you know, when I was still actively playing this game, I'm now thinking about them again a little bit. And just like little things, because like I played this in college, and so I'm thinking about like stuff that happened in college, and it's throwing me off. It's strange. I don't usually do the like retreat into nostalgia thing, but I've been... The siren call of like going back to older stuff from happier days, question mark, is like a little real. I think I've just gotten a little tired of media recently, is one of my big issues. Yeah, do I want to advance? Let's actually, yeah, no. Let's go until we fight the boss. It's only like 2 more levels anyway. And then I think I should be able to pick up where I left off. Okay, my needle shot could be leveled up. Oh, glowing fire crystal. Oh, I have a bunch of them, actually. Oh, 6 to level up the needle shot? Sure. Instantly skip to level 4. Heat bonus achieved at level 3. Let's see. Could also level up my shield. So this puts it up to level 5. If I put 2 in, it skips level 2 levels. The question is, what is the Forge prize box? I don't know. Let's see. Rare crystallized formation of heat used to forge higher levels of weapons and gear. Heat within burns strong enough it feels warm to the touch. Yeah, but where do I get them? I forget. I'll have to look into these things. I might as well just level up some of my gear at the very least. Oh wait, I can just scoot around that. Not this one, though. There we go. Ow. There we go. And that's why frost resistance is actually a good thing. Okay, let's get rid of that guy so it can't heal the rest of them. I think the one thing that this game is suffering from a little bit, and maybe this isn't as much of an issue, is that the regular, like your standard attack pattern is pretty basic. Oh. That is just attack, 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 attack. There's no like cool combos or anything like that. I don't think it would be able to sustain it, and like realistically for a game that was made in what, 2010? All I remember is that the one DLC mission pack came out in like 2012. I don't remember. Well, I bet I could actually look. When was this released? Okay, 2011. I was a 21-year-old. That was 15 years ago. Wild. Go for here. Oh, I forgot how good the music was. It's very melancholy in a good way. But right, I forgot that dude does actually pop up and kill it. I feel almost kind of bad for that one. Oh, those are the heat stones. That's where I'm getting them from. So they are just a random drop. It's not something I buy. There we go. Ow. Yeah, don't step on that unnecessarily. And yeah, my inventory is full, but it's only for consumables. Which is hardly a problem. Yeah, those I just need a hoard. Unless it's one of those where I can actually carry extra. Let's see if I can get rid of all of these. No. Okay. I just don't use them enough, unfortunately. That's a big dark matter deposit. You know what? I don't even care. Let's not waste our time breaking crystals when I already have something that is more than good enough. There we go. The wild thing to think of is that there is a... I really don't want to linger too much on the whole, like, man, time passing. But every once in a while you hear about, like, one of these games where, well, okay, I had somebody actually ask about, whether or not I would ever go back and cover, like, older games, like StarCraft 2. That was a game that they played a lot when they were a kid. I played that when I was an adult. That came out also when I was in college. And so, like, 100% there's somebody watching this video who was, like, 5 when this game came out. And, you know, they've been playing it off and on since. Or, you know, it was their childhood game. You know, here I am talking about Phantasy Star Online, which was my original, like, first MMO. Even though I didn't play it as an MMO, I just played it as a local co-op game on the GameCube. But that, you know, this is one of those games that, yeah, it was either somebody's, like, childhood favorite MMO to, like, play with their friends that, you know, they've lost interest or just haven't had time to go back or something like that. Let's see. I didn't kill him. Unfortunately, knocking an enemy on their butt communicates to me that they're toast, not, nope, keep swinging. But that this game is also old enough that there's so many kids who probably would have gone bananas for this game, who've just never heard of it. I think that's always kind of like a weird, neat part, but also kind of sadness that I think gaming has like a huge recency bias that very much everybody wants to play the game that is currently in vogue. They want to be included in something. They want to share an experience with other folks, and so going back to something old, especially way out of date, can feel like it's not worth it to a lot of folks. Ow. I should actually use that move a lot more often. Well, who knows, maybe I just continue this run and then we'll go back to town after. Oh. Let's name a Shankle. It is a Shankle, sure. And so, you know, I kind of struggle with this on my own as well, you know, the whole recency bias thing that, I mean, if it's obvious, my channel largely exists in a state of covering the latest, greatest, you know, indie games and whatnot. Ow. And that I rarely delve back into my backlog for any reason, unless there's, like, some motivation. So in this case, you know, Spiral Knight's getting updates again. It's like, okay, I can finally come back to this. I think there's kind of a reason to go back anyway. Every once in a while, Steam sales are a good example of this, where it's just like, well, I got nothing better to do. I might as well, you know, put a bunch of time into playing this older game. Okay, more dangerous than you'd expect on this level. Might be able to turn back. Okay, but I still can't get through these doors. It has like an energy meter, so I'm assuming it just won't let me. Oh. There's apparently a southern route on this one, with a key. I want to go check that, see what that gives me. If it gives me anything. Okay, golden key. Don't know where to use that. Probably not on the energy door. So maybe it's something down here. Ow. Let's see. 5? I don't know what that pill does. That is okay. Grab this. Thing there. I don't know if this one resets. Some of them do, some of them do not. Okay, this one doesn't look like it does. Go from here. But for the whole recency bias thing, I suffer from it a little bit because there's actually like a lot of older games I've never played. Either never got the chance to, didn't have access, or just didn't have interest. So, like, I didn't have a PS1, and so I've actually been going through on my own, slowly collecting a bunch of, like, old PS1 games, because I really want to be... Well, there's another big one. I love how it wobbles on the back. It's just kind of a fun animation. And here's where the golden key goes. Let's see. Bunch of crowns, or whatever that material is. Useful stuff. I have no idea if it's actually good, but hey, I got it. Oh, that means I probably have a revival remaining. There we go. But that some part of me wishes that there was an easier way for me to potentially, like, feature older games. Sadly, the way YouTube works, no, there is pretty much no way for me to do so comfortably. Use gun on this one. Just so I can walk through and around. Let's see. Because, I mean, so much of it is just based on, like... You know, if you're suddenly presented with an option, do you want to watch a video on something you're familiar with and enjoy, or something you've never heard of before? I think some people will go for the thing they've never heard of before. But when I streamed on Twitch much more consistently than I currently do, which is almost never now, let's see. I would often put up a poll saying, like, hey, what should I stream next? And it would be, you know, game A, B, C. And almost always, because the games I cover are so niche, just kind of as a rule, because the games I cover are so niche as a rule, people will just end up voting for the one thing they recognize, whether or not they'd actually want to watch it. And so I remember kind of interrogating someone. Feels weird to say interrogating, but, you know, sitting down and being like, hey, you know, I see that, you know, everybody voted for this one thing. Okay, so this is all the different stuff. So we did actually get a decent amount of warm fire crystals. And then a bunch of other stuff that I don't know what it's used for. Oh, and this is like one of the mid-dungeon towns. So this is kind of a peaceful zone if I want to buy stuff. So we have an alchemy machine. What can I do with this? Oh, is this where I make a weapon? So I could make a Nightblade, but obviously I already have one, don't need one. That's a 3-star. There's the Tempered Caliber, which is, I think, the more advanced version of the regular weapon. And then Troika. But yeah, unless I want to go for, like, Needle Shot or something, I'm pretty happy with what I've got. Oh, here we go. So I can turn glowing fire crystals into warm fire crystals. Into dim, into cracked. Well, I don't think we need any of that. I think we're just going to leave it as is and just continue on. Well met. Having achieved the required rank, you're authorized to explore the deeper depths of the Clockwork. Cool. But I wanted to see what the rest of this stuff is, because I think this is where, yeah, I can spend various resources and whatnot. Ooh, requires rank 8-1 to equip the Ancient Plate Helm. It's a bigger health bonus, but it slows me down a lot. There's also the Blackened Crest, which just has health and resistance to normal and shadow. And then there's the Fang of Yogg, which also requires rank 8-1 to equip. Let's see. So this is where I got the Bristling Buckler from. And then, yeah. These require tokens. I don't know how many tokens I have. I have none. So, fair enough. Okay, and this is just the usual depot vendor. Okay, we have an alchemy machine. Yeah, so this is where I can spend my dark matter and some other things. But also requires a 5-star material that I don't have? I don't know. I'm not going to think too hard about it. And these might be mid-run things. So if I wanted to, I could actually buy the Vitapod plus 6. But I don't feel terribly motivated to do so. And there's another alchemy machine. Preservation motivator, but again requires tokens, which I do not have, and a mysterious alchemy machine. Ooh. Good chance of causing strong poison. Okay, explore gate containing dark shard, diamond lion gate, tier 1. And then we would need these things as well. Yeah, a barrier cannon? Huh. Feral Cannon Gorgo Fist. Yeah, there's some really neat looking equipment far down the, like, crafting tree on this game. I don't know, maybe someday I'll come back and actually do, like, a... Is it a series on this? Maybe? I don't know. I think it's one of those where, like, I really want to see if I can cobble together, like, a group to occasionally just, like, tackle old MMOs. Until we're done with them. I don't know what done would mean exactly. Because I'm thinking like, I mean, Final Fantasy XI is a good example of this. Or, I mean, Guild Wars is probably the best example I can think of. Where, like, Guild Wars 1 has a finite amount of content. They might add more. And honestly, if they do, I'd actually be, like, super happy about that. I really enjoyed Guild Wars 1 back when I was younger. And even, I mean, having, like, a roguelike dungeon. I think that's it. I think every older game that's kind of on life support should just introduce, like, a proper roguelike mode. With, like, minor benefits to keep grinding through. Just for the people that want to keep playing the game, but don't have anything else to, like, do within it. Oh, I don't know what the red pill is, actually. Yeah, what is that? Super health capsule. That should do the trick. Yeah, I gotta watch my health a little bit. Getting blasted a smidge here. I wonder if there's a shield that actually would give me, like, a block charge. Because that would actually be extremely helpful. But, oh well. Grab all the loot. Oh, I see. I might as well go back and fight everything, because why not? Yeah, just some kind of gap closer would make huge sections of this game much easier. Okay. But I guess the much easier does kind of break any potential balance. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where it does exist, but it's so down the progression tree you really do have to work for it. And at that point, breaking the balance of the game doesn't matter as much. I do like the idea of getting a sword that does like a poison effect. I always struggle with status effects in games because they're either like extremely useful or kind of garbage. It depends on like bosses and whether or not they're immune. Because I've definitely played a lot of games where like I spec into status effects and my damage is like both amazing and also worthless. Because ultimately you're just better off going for direct damage and crit. Because the thing is with poison, you have to wait for it to, you know, trigger X amount of times before it's worth it. Whereas a critical hit is immediate, instant gratification. So if an enemy has like 50 HP and you crit them for 25 twice, they're done in 2 hits. Conversely, if you have to add 5-10 stacks of poison per hit, and your attacks do, what, 5 damage or something like that, I think it would take at least 3 or 4 hits to take him down. Even if the poison long-term maybe can stack up in such a way that it does more damage, the time in between kind of balances the scales against it. Plus, you know, with critting, you can just keep hitting. Ow. Dodgy little dog. Wolver. Oh, of course. At least that one was kind enough to just wait there. Here we go. I seem to be doing fine up until this stage. I was kind of expecting to start running into some problems, but I think the answer is because the runs kind of go long on this one, I always stuck to maybe the lower difficulty levels and never really challenged myself to do anything terribly hard or risky while playing this previously. Maybe. I don't know. That would explain why I have so many hours in this game, but my general gear and equipment is not, like, hugely powerful. I did also make a new character. I guess that is the other thing, that I have several characters made for this. One that was, like, very intentionally, like, this is my YouTube recording, you know, character specifically. Right, it's not tab to pull up the map, it's B, which is fine. And so that probably did set me back, at least to some degree, progression-wise. I don't know by how much. Because I don't think you can trade resources either. Or if you can, it's like only minor amounts. Well, if that dropped anything. Yep. Knew there was going to be a switch there. There we go. Keep pressing tab. Sorry, tab is pull up the mini-map in literally every other game except for this one. So it's throwing me off super hard. Okay, and then mid-tier. Always look for the biggest one you can get. I'm not even sure if I really need these crystals at this point. I probably do if I'm, like, planning on going back in and putting a ton of time into this game. But I'd really have to figure out, like, what is even the goal with itemization? I think the answer is find a recipe that you want, pick it up, and then, you know, pick it up and then work your way towards, you know, grinding the requisite resources for it. I do actually appreciate that they just have these random dungeon runs. Don't think too hard about it. Okay. It's one of those where, like, easily the kind of pseudo-MMO where you can just load it up for a while and run around. I kind of wish more MMOs had that, where you just go on a dungeon crawl with people or without people that... I mean, I guess really, I'm looking for a roguelike experience, but it's actually an MMO. I've seen it happen in, like, a couple of games, but not really. Because I've seen a bunch of roguelikes that are designed to be like MMOs. And I've seen a lot of MMOs that have, like, a pseudo-roguelike component to it. World of Warcraft had, like... Was it the Shadow Tower or something like that? It was in Shadowlands. It was, like, almost okay. But then again, like, I have only so much time in a given day, week, month, whatever. And so, like, I think if every MMO had this degree of grind, I think I would not be able to play any of them. I know. The only MMO I actually put time into nowadays is, like, Guild Wars 2. And some of that is sunk cost, some of that is because it's just easy. You know, so many other MMOs are kind of a commitment, you know, go on a raid, go on a dungeon crawl. And Guild Wars definitely gets there, but it's definitely more of a, like... Or I could just go out and bang out my weekly and focus on that for, you know, a couple hours, which, you know, that's comfortable, you know, not overly taxing, and has, like, a clear reward through line. Because I find, like, randomized dungeon crawls and raiding and hoping for the right drop is, like, agonizing. Not strictly bad, just a, like, I don't know. I almost kind of feel like there will be some kind of weird trend X number of years ago. It is like social MMOs for tired, you know, World of Warcraft, or people that grew up playing World of Warcraft. I'm honestly kind of surprised that hasn't happened yet. I guess part of it is because a lot of, you know, ex-World of Warcraft players probably have kids nowadays, and probably aren't, gotta kill these butterflies, otherwise they're gonna just keep healing these dudes. You know, I'm assuming ex-World of Warcraft players who have kids don't really have the time to, like, sink into an MMO the way they used to. And that, yeah, the problem with any live service game, MMOs or, you know, more limited ones, is that once a player runs out of things to do, why are we just getting the big shadow crystals and nothing else? I have no idea. Let's see. That once you hit your kind of progression limit, there's kind of no reason to keep playing. Not even progression limit. One thing I'm actually noticing with a lot of MMOs nowadays is that they got end games. So for me, I played Final Fantasy XIV. I didn't do any videos on it because it was mid-pandemic and just wanted something to do with Shell that wasn't directly work, so we were playing through Final Fantasy XIV for fun. Also, that was like extremely long. Yeah, I might look into a different gun. I like the spray and pray of this gun, but it is definitely unreliable. Because half of my shots fly wide. Even though that's probably part of the damage calculation for it. Let's see. But yeah, so Final Fantasy XIV had Endwalker, which was the end of its story. Guild Wars had End of Dragons, which was the end of its story. I don't know where the hell World of Warcraft is, I just haven't played it in ages. One, because Microsoft sucks. I was originally kind of positive about the idea of that acquisition, and I was wrong. And that sucks. I mean, are they better than Bobby Kotick? Yeah. But that's like saying, is slime better than, you know, filth? Oh gosh, they're little explodey man. Toast bunny. Okay, maybe the spray and pray gun is better than I think it is. Let's see. Go from here. Let's see. The other thing is, like, you know, Microsoft has very much been somewhat instrumental in... Oh gosh, how do we do this? Can I hit it? I can hit it from there. I mean, a lot of evils of the world. Generative AI is like one of the main things that they're pushing right now, and that sucks. And I don't, you know, kind of hard to blame Blizzard specifically for that. I think they're a victim just as much as they are an unwilling participant. I mean, I guess that's the same thing. But I couldn't justify playing World of Warcraft for years. It was also one of those where like half the expansions were kind of eh. So like Shadowlands lost Shell and myself because we were playing it, but we got to kind of the end of the general leveling curve, and then it's like, okay, now grind reputation so you can continue the story, and we both just instantly quit, because no. But supposedly after each of these MMOs kind of hit their end state, because it was time locked for the World of Warcraft one. So like we had to grind for reputation, but we could only grind for so much reputation per day. And so it was one of those where it's like, oh, so we're going to have to play for like multiple weeks of just grinding dailies. Just to have the opportunity to finish the narrative arc? No, thank you. Just not worth the time or the effort. Let's see. Really interesting how just slightly sidestepping the enemy does kind of completely lock off what their ability to retaliate against you. Let's see what I was going to say about that. But so, yeah, Final Fantasy XIV, Destiny, maybe World of Warcraft, though I would have to actually know more. But each of these games kind of had like an exit point recently in the same way that the Marvel, you know, Endgame or Avengers Endgame provided a very natural stopping point for everybody that liked the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That, and also somewhere in that point, Disney decided to start exercising considerably more like executive control over, you know, how the movies were filmed, what the characters were saying and doing and stuff like that. Oh, here's the switch. And so a lot of people stopped watching, you know, Avengers after Endgame and haven't been back, and Marvel's having trouble. That, and they're also, you know, run by absolute fools who are like, we're just going to outsource everything. Institutional knowledge, we don't need that shit. We'll just throw money at the problem and, you know, somehow that will manifest a good movie. Even though, like, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. And anybody who's ever worked in film could tell you that, but because, you know, the executives in charge are a bunch of money men who have no idea how anything works, and they also call the shots, they can just fire everybody who'd even question them. That's why I have a very low opinion of, most... Oh yeah, we're... Topics coming full circle. That's why I have this low opinion of a lot of, like, modern AAA or, you know, mass appeal movies right now, is just because, unlike any other point in history, as far as media goes, we've hit this point where, the people who are in charge of the movies, who are actually, like, making the decisions about how they're made, movies and video games, they're no longer people who've made games or movies before. They're just people with a lot of money who are ostensibly the boss. And so it's part of the, it's a huge reason why a lot of stuff just kind of sucks nowadays. Okay, we're looking for the switch. We found one of them. So I think these guys are just gonna keep coming. Oh, is the last switch up in this top right? Maybe. Yeah, there it is. I do actually like the fact that there is kind of this weirdo switch puzzle. Okay. The Flamer Man. Because the little dust bunnies don't give any resources for getting destroyed. So there's no reason for me to do so. I'll just take the damage. There we go. Dang, I do a lot of damage. Is my sword just, like, extremely high level? I have no clue. Oh, I got another one of these big guys. Just go back to wailing on him. Yeah. And easy peasy. And yeah, the damage I take from that is functionally nothing. Go from there. But so, yeah, this is the reason why I'm kind of retreating back into nostalgia and or, you know, just avoiding big mass market things, because you really can kind of feel the executive class taint leaking its way into, like, a lot of big movies and whatnot. Even if it's, like, ostensibly made or run by actual people. Half the time it doesn't feel that way. Okay, I think this is going to be the last region, and then we will bail. Let's see, do I have anything that can level up? The needle shot. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this. Because I do want my needle shot to be decently high level. Do I want my shield up? Kind of. I don't know if what the forge box gets me. Oh. Is it from that? Maybe. I have no idea. There's another arena. Maybe the arena's fine. Not sure I got hit there. Maybe one of the dogs got a hit on me and I didn't notice. Where is one of those spikes? Actually, go take this thing out, now that I'm thinking about it. I do wonder about that, you know, with this game and some other games. I was talking about how, like, Warframe has a similar monetization system to this. The buy a boost and some resources kind of thing. Still feel like Warframe is a little bit less pay to win because it's mostly just getting an experience booster, and also, like, Warframe barely has PvP. Yeah, I might honestly have to look into bombs at some point. They are quite good. Avoid that. Yeah, I do have a gun. I think the problem is a lot of these enemies seem to resist its damage. It might just be too low level. Difficult to say. What are you doing, sir? I was going to do a thing and then it kind of just gave up. I don't know. Say about anything. Event hub. Oh, right. Some kind of Hall of Heroes mission. Oh, when that says inventory full, is that a consumable item? Probably not. No. Okay. I shouldn't be breaking those anyway. Do we want to stick around? I might as well. There's only 3 stages of the arena, and then we will be done. But I kind of wish some of these MMOs had kind of like a tired adult pay tier, where it's like, I have more money than I have time, at least as far as video games are concerned. And so it's like, I want the experience and the... Like, I want the MMO experience, I just don't want the MMO grind or monetization scheme. To the point where, like, I almost kind of wish MMOs did have some kind of weird, I don't want to say pay-to-win tier, but like a buy-in tier or even alternate version of the game that's just like the tired adults. The tired adults version. If any of you ever played Diablo 2 back in the day, there was 2 versions of the servers you could connect to. There was ladder, or I think it was ladder. It was effectively like, there was one version that was properly like, ow. There was one version that was properly like balanced and moderated and whatnot, so that you couldn't bring like a hacked character in. And then there's Open BattleNet that just let you bring your like offline characters in, and they had zero control over like what your gear and equipment was. So if you wanted to hack in a bunch of Stones of Jordan, you could. I played on Open BattleNet because I didn't care. You know, it didn't make one bit of difference to me whether or not it didn't make a single bit of difference to me whether or not I was, you know, hacking in a character or not, or if somebody else was. If I didn't want to play with other people, I just wouldn't play with them. But I would use it to specifically get access to, like, the count level over and over and over again, or other stuff. I don't know. It was mostly just a, like, I didn't have to think about being online all the time to play on the more balanced mode, so I could play online with somebody sometimes without having the... Bomber guys are actually kind of a problem. Ow. They drop so many bombs, dude. Ow. Okay, I think we're starting to hit the point where I'm mentally checking out on, like, playing well, and that's harming me a little. No, it doesn't seem like any of these guys have like a defense modifier. Well, let's just pop one of these. Probably pop two of them. No reason to conserve. This is my last level. Freaking body blocked by these guys. Ow. I got poisoned. I was getting hit by these spines. Well, this is an adequate challenge for what I'm up to. Probably a good thing that I upgraded my shield. Okay, there's more? Oh boy. Well, it's okay. I think this is the last group of them. Seems like it's just a bunch of the big lads. Okay. The fire shield twice. Start setting them on fire. I can also click those. Look. After a certain point, vengeance is the only way. And also clearing out all this junk from my, you know, consumable inventory. There's more! Oh no. Okay, we 100% have to take out the healers. Are there more? I can't. I honestly cannot tell you if there's more. Oh, there is another healer there. Okay, that's it. Shame these guys don't have friendly fire. At least they don't have much for health. Ah! And this is why having a bomb would actually be lovely. I'll have to see if there's some way that I can get a permanent trinket and weapon slot. Because, yeah, a sword, a gun, and a bomb would be kind of ideal. Oh, the shield is so nice. There you go, get him with a curse. Oh, stay away from those. There we go. The other one would be like if there was a weapon with a homing shot. But alas. Alright, we made it out. That hurt. But it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, anything else to say? No, not so much though. So, yeah, I think this is in a good spot. I mean, honestly, I always thought Spiral Knights was great. Even, you know, playing it years ago when it was, you know, had much less content and whatnot. But as somebody who, yeah, did play it back in the day and is playing it now, it feels good. I think the forging leveling system feels like it's in a good spot. I don't remember how the old leveling system works. I'd have to go back and check my old videos. Okay. This might actually take me to a safe zone, but I think I'm just gonna bail. We will see. 50 crowns for my trouble. Nice. Okay. Is another Clockwork terminal. Oh, but it's just one of these. But that's fine, because I think this guy offers, yeah, considerably better recipes the further you go down. Let's see. I don't think any of these are the, like, really good ones. I mean, there's the Alchemizer Mark II. Oh, some of these are expensive. How much money do I have? 12,000. Oof. Let's see. Chance of causing stun. The, oh, yeah, this one requires rank 6-1 to equip. Costs 10,000 for the recipe. Yeah, so the deeper we go, the better the recipes we can buy. But also the better the equipment. So this increases my attack speed for guns and my gun damage as well. Let's see. Not seeing anything that I'm like, must have. I mean, if anything, it would be maybe this, a 4-star gun causes fire. I think I'll buy this one as a recipe. And then there's nothing else I can do. And yeah, I could forge here if I wanted to. Yeah, forge prize box, 2 forge prize boxes. I don't think I care. Probably just keep leveling up my Wolver coat. Though there is some question on whether or not that's actually worth it, because after a certain point, like these are... It's a 2-star armor set. So like, probably should go for something that is higher tier later. But hey, we made 4,000 crowns. Got a gazillion resources that I don't know what I'm going to use it for. And this looks kind of same as it ever was. I wish I knew what each of these did. There's a gym. I don't remember the training. Oh, advanced training hall. So like just tutorialization. Wow, there's a lot of people in here. Okay. And then I think this is, yeah, the auction house. So people can put up gear and equipment that they're selling, which is too rich for my blood. Energy depot. Oh, no, we've seen that. Okay, alchemy machine. I don't really know if there's much else here. Just like a forge thing, but I think it's mostly people just hanging out. There might be other stuff that I could go to. There's probably a ton of things I'm missing, but I think for now I'll leave it here and say that Spiral Knights is available. It's been out for ages, and it's been getting updates that seemingly have fixed a lot of the main things that people are grumpy about, which I rather appreciate. So what do we have? Prestige mission. So this is the rank mission. So by completing these, you can raise your rank. So if I want to equip that new gun, I would have to complete this mission. But I think I'm going to have to clear... I don't know which of these I've beaten before. And these will have like various preset missions and whatnot. Oh, but also give you like will give you various upgrades like resources, prestige points, which, oh, is how you rank up here. Okay. And like blueprints and stuff, which I am going to have to look into because I don't think I've actually done most of these. In fact, I would actually argue, I think most of these were added after I played. And so I might actually, I might have to go back and do all of these to catch up at some point. But for now, I think I'm going to leave this here and say that, yeah, if you want to play Spiral Knights, just follow the link in the description below. And I guess apart from that, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. If you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.